I want to go a little bit into the number one owner of franchise brands across the world, and that's Roark Capital. They have $33 billion of assets under management. And a little bit about the founder, Neal Aronson, started Roark Capital in 2001. Neal's actively involved in all the investments, but especially the Inspire brands, Driven brands, Focus brands. And we'll go through the portfolio of the companies in today's video. Many of those brands you're going to recognize, like Dunkin' Donuts. Neal Aronson was also previously the chairman of the Board for Roark's prior investment, Wingstop, that since the IPO has gone up multiple X's and has been a rock star stock in the franchising space. A little bit more about Neal. Started his career as an investment banker after graduating from Lehigh, worked at several firms, including a hedge fund, Odyssey Partners. In 1995, he helped launch U.S. Franchise Systems, which at the time was an Atlanta-based hotel franchisor that began with one brand and 22 hotels in 9 states. And when the company was sold in 2000, it had 3 brands and about 500 hotels in all 50 states and 5 countries. Since its inception, the affiliates of Roark Capital have acquired 98 franchise and multi-location brands, which generate approximately $61 billion in system-wide revenue from the 66,000 locations located in 50 states and 89 countries. The portfolio companies include food, restaurants, specialty retail, health, wellness, beauty, healthcare, business services, as well as education. They've been involved in pretty much 5% of all the franchise locations in the United States across the brands. Roark Capital has owned it outright or has at least owned the franchise brand and had franchisees running those locations. 800,000 or so franchise businesses in the United States. Roark Capital has a pretty sizable impact. Investments, again, across the gamut. Anything from fitness, like Anytime Fitness, Orange Theory, all the way to Wingstop. Roark Capital is also known for taking companies private. They bought Dunkin' Donuts. They paid a lot of money for it, 20x plus EBITDA to take Dunkin' Donuts private. They also bought Buffalo Wild Wings for $2.9 billion. The stock price was going down due to weaker sales. Roark Capital bought the chain with a 38% premium for $157 per share. That put more than 1,200 locations under Roark's umbrella, which also includes the Hardee's and Carl Jr.'s operator CKE restaurants. So I mentioned Inspire brands. They have Arby's, Baskin Robbins, Buffalo Wild Wings, Dunkin', Jimmy John's, Rusty Taco, and Sonic. They also own Nothing But Cakes. And then they have Focus brands that owns Auntie Anne's, Pretzels, Carvel Ice Cream, Cinnabon, Jamba, McAllister's Grill, Moe's Southwestern Grill, and Slotsky's. They also own the Cheesecake Factory, which are putting one in right across the street from our office in Miami Beach. Previously owned the Corner Bakery, El Forneo, and NAF Middle Eastern Grill, as well as Wingstop and Driven Brands, which has a portfolio of different automotive franchises. You might recognize some of the automotive franchises like Take 5 Oil Change, Meineke, Maaco, 1-800-Radiator, and AC, as well as CarStar. Neal is quoted as saying, "We're investing in people and brands. It just takes a long time to do that. When you think for the long term like we do, it allows us to do some things that maybe some other people can't." So they're not typical private equity firm that holds an investment for 3 to 5 years. They've held some investments for 10 plus years. So they definitely take a long-term view. However, there have been some franchisees like we've interviewed with Massage Envy, which have not been very happy with the new owners, Roark Capital, and the management team they had in place. So there had been major problems with Roark's brand, Massage Envy. More than 100 arbitration actions had piled up against Massage Envy in the year following September 2021 from franchisees who claim impending doubling of fees for the National Ad Fund. And some franchisees said that around 2015 to 16, they were seeing around $1 million in average unit volume yearly. And they projected to see 1.3, 1.5 in a couple years. However, the number has now dropped less than $1 million, with around 100 locations leaving the system since then. And then EBITDA has also dropped quite significantly. Shortly after franchisee complaints were made public in 2021, the company agreed to settle and also changed their upper management. So it hasn't been all of a success, especially for the franchisees that are part of some of the Roark systems. But there have been many happy franchisees that have made a lot of money under the Roark Capital owners. I hope you appreciate this feature on Roark Capital, on Neal Aronson. If there's other players in the franchising space where you'd like us to take a look at the companies that they own and the executives behind the brand, leave in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you, or shoot me an email at patrick@vettedbiz.com. Thanks.